everyone, and welcome back to Colorful Sparks. Today I'm going to show you all of the books I'm getting rid of this month. Now, before the beautiful shelf was as beautiful as it is now, I had to go through a lot of my books that I currently had. You'll see why. Last year I was a part of the Once Upon a Book Club subscription box members, and so I got a lot of books up until November when I stopped receiving the box. And I got a lot of books that I wasn't really into and didn't really want to read. So I have a bunch of those, as well as some books that I've had in my collection that I just have never started reading, and some are school books. So without further ado, let's jump into it. The first book I'm getting rid of is The Handmaid's Tale by Margaret Atwood. I bought this book for a book challenge that I did back in 2016 and never read it. I know I probably should keep it just so I can read it one day, but also, as much as everyone loves the show and the book, it isn't a topic that interests me at all. I don't normally read adult novels just because they don't appeal to the good parts of my brain. So I'm sorry, Margaret Atwood, but I'm getting rid of this book. The next two books on my list are the second and third book of the Harry Potter series. The first book I'm currently giving away as a Christmas present to one of my cousins, but I have these copies also. I just bought the first three out of nowhere. I'm getting rid of them because I want to buy myself a nice box set for my birthday this year. So when I obviously buy those, I won't need these anymore, and I would rather give someone the gift of the magic than keep them for myself just to have them at this point. The next book on the list is The Left Hand of Darkness by Ursula Le Guin. I have read another Ursula Le Guin book and liked it. I read it for a class that I did. The Left Hand of Darkness was a book club book from my years as president of Sigma Tau Delta Honor Society. I didn't read it ever, and I'm still probably never going to read it. I like her writing, but if I haven't read it at this point and I've had it for about 2 years, I'm most likely never going to pick it back up. It's also very small, it doesn't fit on the shelf, and a lot of time Ursula Le Guin's writing requires me to put a lot of effort into reading it just to figure out what's happening, and I don't feel like doing that right now. The next book I'm getting rid of is Miss Meteor by Talora K. Mejia and Anna Marie McLemore. This was a Once Upon a Book Club book. I am not going to read it. I read the premise and it just does not sound exciting to me at all. I know a couple of people have already read it and they liked it, but it's just not something I'm going to read. It's about a town in New Mexico and this girl and beauty pageants, and I don't know. It just doesn't feel like something I'm going to like. The premise also, like the synopsis on the side, sounds really confusing, so I'm saying goodbye. The next book I'm getting rid of is Woven in Midnight by Isabel Ibanez. There's a second book to this coming out, I believe this month. Is called Written in the Stars, I'm pretty sure. The reason I'm getting rid of this is because this is also a Once Upon a Book Club book. This is the first book that I got. It was the January 2020 book, and I never picked it up. I wanted to and I never did. And after reading the premise again and again, I've decided I'm not going to end up reading it, especially because I can't even pronounce the main character's name. I oftentimes struggle if I can't connect to a character through their name, or at least pronounce it in my head. So sadly, I'm saying goodbye to this book. It's very pretty though, and I wish I could keep it. The next book I am getting rid of is Ray Bear by Jordan Ifueko. This is also another Once Upon a Book Club book. Again, this is just another matter of the premise doesn't sound like something I'm going to enjoy. It's about our main character, and there's some sci-fi stuff as well as like a council, and I've heard people say great things about this, but it just doesn't get my brain firing to the, oh my god, I want to read. So I am also getting rid of Star Wars Thrawn Ascendancy Chaos Rising. I picked this up in, I don't know, right when it came out, I'm pretty sure. And after The Mandalorian, after thinking about it long and hard, after looking at it constantly and seeing all the blue pages, I decided I'm not going to be reading any of the Star Wars novels. I don't want to get that far into the franchise. I think I'm going to stick with just the TV and movies that come out, because I don't know. Just something about trying to read a Star Wars book kind of bothers me. I'm probably not describing this well enough, but I want to think about Thrawn the way that I know him from Rebels. I don't want to have a book taint what I kind of already think about him. So I'm saying goodbye to this book. Even though it is really pretty. Like the pages are blue. That sounds pretty good. What's it look like? Oh, it's just black. Well. Oh well. Goodbye, Thrawn. The next books I'm getting rid of is the Game of Thrones series, as well as this large version of the first book that I have that I already did some highlighting in. Oh, hey, a bookmark. I'm going to be getting rid of this because I've already watched the entirety of the show, and after trying several times to read, oh my god, this book is so floppy. Thank God I'm getting rid of it. After trying so many times to read it, I don't actually enjoy George R.R. Martin's writing style. It's kind of difficult for me to get connected to anything, as well as like I feel myself getting bored as I'm reading. Also, this book is so floppy. It's so annoying. But yes, I'll be getting rid of this book as well as the entire series that I got one year from someone for Christmas. Sorry, but it's time that they go because I'm not going to be reading them. The next book on my list is the October Once Upon a Book Club book, was Eventide by Sarah Goodman. This is a horror ghost story type thing. That isn't anything like I read. I don't like ghost stories ever. I've never liked them. I don't like horrors, so I was never going to read this. It was not in the cards for this book. The next book I'm getting rid of is Black Star Renegades by Michael Moretti. I've actually met him. He's pretty dope. He came to one of my writing classes, which is why we got this book. However, it is basically Star Wars, and I got maybe 5 chapters in and started getting really bored. It's mainly because I felt like it was trying very hard to be Star Wars. He's also a comic writer for Star Wars, so like, I don't know. But I just really couldn't connect to the characters. I couldn't find myself reading it ever. I tried maybe for 2 months to read this and I still didn't. I only kept it because of the memories, but I can't keep keeping books for that, so sadly I have to say goodbye. The next book I'm getting rid of is The Fuck It List, at least that's what I'm assuming it's called, by Julie Halpern. I picked this up in the summer of 2019. I picked it up because it sounded interesting. It is basically a cancer story, and I'm going to be getting rid of it because I've already read enough cancer story books, and this one has not been read. I've had it for a year, or I've had it for a year and a half at this point. It's still not been read. That means it's not going to be read. It clearly didn't hit my brain. The next book I'm getting rid of is Brave by Rose McGowan. I picked this up for a book challenge. I still have not read it. The reason I haven't read it is because it is hard for me to read a memoir about something that I followed very closely for the Me Too movement, as well as knowing her involvement in it, as well as the Harvey Weinstein story. So hearing the specific details of all of that would actually cause me a lot of anxiety and pain. So I have to get rid of this for my own mental health, I guess. But if you want a great story about all of that, I would highly recommend this. I know people have loved this book. I sadly just can't read it. The next book on this list is City of Fallen Angels by Cassandra Clare. This is a very rare hardcover copy with this cover, which doesn't exist anymore. And it's very old. I got it from the library, and it pains me to give this away because, again, this cover doesn't exist anymore. They rebranded them. The hardcover barely exists anymore as well. I'm getting rid of it simply because I'm buying the box set of the series, and if I can't keep this one, same for the reason of the Harry Potter books, I can't keep this one just because it has a limited edition cover. I need to be better about that, and I can't keep it around just because of the sentimentality of the cover. So, I have read this entire series, by the way. I'm repurchasing it because my books are lost to my mom's apartment. The next book on this list is Rebel Spy by Veronica Rossi. This was another Once Upon a Book Club book. It is a historical fiction mystery, which isn't my style. It's also, listen, 1776, my brain can't think of anything except Hamilton, so I feel bad, But this is a very pretty cover, so maybe you want to read this. I don't. It doesn't trigger my fancy at all. The next book on my list is Harley in the Sky by Akemi Dawn Bowman, which is another Once Upon a Book Club book. I'm getting rid of this because it is about a circus and it's got some sci-fi stuff in it, not sci-fi, fantasy elements, and I don't care. This is actually very interesting because one of the books that I'm keeping an eye out for is also by her for this year, so we'll see. But I can't bring myself to read this. I've tried. It doesn't sound interesting to me. So unfortunately, I have to say goodbye to the next book on this list is An Absolutely Remarkable Thing by Hank Green. The reason I'm getting rid of this is because I already have a signed copy right here. Okay, I love Hank Green. Granted, I still haven't read this book yet, or his second one. I've been keeping them because I'm going to read them someday. But I don't need 2 copies of this book. I need to be better about that. The only book that I'm going to allow myself to have 2 copies of is Fangirl, because this is a beautiful collector's hardcover and this is a limited edition paperback. That is the only reason why I'm allowing myself to do it. She said very fast so she could try to talk herself into that. But yes, I don't need 2 copies of the same book, so I will keep the signed one over this one. And the last book on my Unhaul list is Zenith by Sasha Alsberg and Lindsay Cummings. I have had this book for 4 years and still haven't read it. That most definitely means I'm not reading it anytime soon. Also, I feel like my taste has changed and I'm not going to like it. It's basically sci-fi, like space stuff. And I don't care. It sounds awful, but I just don't care about this book. I was really excited when I first picked it up and then I never read it. And now I don't want to read it. Granted, the back has a blurb by Sarah J. Maas. A whirlwind out of this galaxy adventure, the dynamic cast of characters, edge of your seat action, and sprawling universe had me hooked from the very first pages. Well, I'm sorry, Sarah J. Maas. It doesn't have me hooked. Goodbye. I think there's like maybe a couple other books from this saga as well, because it's called the Andromeda Saga, so who knows. There were 3 more books that were on that list until I decided to give them away as gifts, which was the first Harry Potter book, The Edge of Anything, as well as the my copy of Everything Everything. I decided that I didn't want to keep Everything because I've already read it and I don't feel like I'm going to be rereading it anytime soon. The Edge of Anything I'm giving away because I'm not going to read it. And the first Harry Potter book we've already discussed. I want a box set and I give it away to my cousin in the hopes that she would enjoy the series. If you liked that video, make sure to give this a thumbs up. Leave a comment down below if there are any books that you thought I shouldn't be getting rid of. Also, let me know if you've ever had to go through all of your books and like had to make some hard choices. Because I think I almost cried when I decided to get rid of the Harry Potter books. If you like this content, make sure to subscribe. I post every single Friday. I will see you guys over on the blog on Monday. Bye! Hi, this is Dorothy after the video is filmed. I just wanted to give you guys a quick update about the 3 books that I purchased. I mentioned in the blog post of the anticipated releases books that I was already ordering, so now I'm going to show them to you really quick. The Quantum Weirdness of the Almost Kissed by Amy Noel Parks. I'm so excited to read this. Listen, this sounds so cute. I cannot wait. If you need a very adorable read for February, please pick this up. Okay, I just also wanted to show you the cover in real life. Should we look at it? What it looks like naked? Oh! It's got a little embossed heart. That's very cute. Very pink underneath the dust jacket. We also have War by Alexandra Bracken. Look how beautiful it is. I'm in love. I love the cover so much. I cannot wait to read this. It just sounds so cool. And let's see here. A map. It's got a map. Everybody, a map. And then without the dust jacket, it's just white, but that's fine though. That's fine. It's beautiful. The other book that I picked up, which is not a 2021 release, is Instant Karma by Marissa Meyer. This I picked up because it is Marissa Meyer's first contemporary novel, and it sounds great. I already like her writing, and I'm very excited to see where this book is going to take me. And those are all the books I needed to show you. Okay, now you may go on with the rest of your life. Bye!